Hello, this is Leslie Walker Hirsch for Glass Alliance, and today I'm talking very long distance to glass artist Noel Hart and hoping that the Skype image will be clear enough. Hi Noel, how are you?
Good morning. I'm fine, thanks, Les.
Well, it's morning where you are, it's evening here, but that makes all the difference, doesn't it? So I want to ask you a few questions. Where are you now?
I live in a locality called Huonbrook, which is in northern New South Wales. The nearest town is about 20 kilometres away, as is the Pacific Ocean. So we're up in a rainforest mountain, and the ocean is just to the east of us here.
Well, this is a long distance. So let's talk art. How did you become an artist and why did you decide on glass as the medium to make your name famous in?
Well, I did art school in the 70s where I majored in painting. So I'm actually a painter. Eventually, I came across glass when my wife was managing a glass blowing studio nearby, and I had an opportunity to work with the glass, and I tried to figure out a way to work with glass in a painterly way, so that the glass, in fact, was not really any different to paint that I was using. So that's still the case. My thing is primarily to be a painter and to work as a painter. So I use paint sometimes I use glass, but it's essentially the same thing to me.
Great. So that would explain maybe your use of vivid colors that you are so well known for. What inspired those colors?
The basic idea behind the colours was to work in a manner that would enable me to connect very closely with other species. Now, my interest in this other species business is to do with conservation. And we have conservation issues worldwide. And parrot species, and in fact quite a few bird species, are a species that we as humans connect with. I mean, we connect with dogs, we connect with horses, but it happens to be where I live is very largely populated by birds. It's a bird-oriented place. There are 8 species of parrots that occur around here. So it seemed to me that working with species that I could empower, much in the way that primitive people would empower species to enable an increase in the availability of food, I could work with coloured species, empower them to act in a sort of an esoteric conservation. Got that?
Well, that's interesting. We're happy to have an ecologically minded artist in our midst here. So how long have you been interested in the preservation of the parrot species?
Well, curiously, when I was a small child, I was in a little art competition, and I won it with a picture of a black swan. And I would have been in primary school. So maybe I've been encouraged since then. So that's, 50 years ago.
Well, you
More than
never
50
know.
years ago.
You never know how those early experiences will create your future, do you?
No, totally. The lineage between any incident, whenever and now is, often will impact on the way that an artist will work. There's a whole presence of ideas that one will kind of deal with on a daily basis.
So I saw in your newest work that you have discontinued that satin finish to your glass and have adopted a much more shiny, clearer finish. Are you happy doing that?
I am now. I wasn't particularly keen on it at first. In fact, when I started working with glass, I immediately moved away from shiny glass. I wanted the colours to be right on the surface, much like paint. So I didn't do what we call casing the work. In other words, I didn't put a layer of clear glass over everything. I wanted the colours right on the surface, and I didn't want it to look glassy. So I was etching the work. Always etched the work so it would look more like paint than glass. However, there are some technical issues that are a constant bugbear to me by working that way, and I lose a lot of work. The chemistry of glass, in many ways, doesn't really allow for coloured glass, that is, to be right on the surface, butted up to other bits of coloured glass in the way that I've done. And I figured out a way to get beyond the technical issues, but they're always there and things can go wrong. And things go wrong sometimes dramatically. And I can spend a couple of days working on pieces and lose a lot of them due to chemical issues. The simple way to kind of deal with that was to put a layer of clear glass over the top of all those colours, which reduces the tensions between the colours. And after some really terrible circumstances, losing lots of work over the last couple of years, the team and I decided to approach it by casing the glass. And there's a couple of other things about casing glass which I found encouraging, actually. I was able to sculpt the surface more. We can actually alter the shapes without some of the additional problems that occur without casing it. So there is an upside. So now I'm used to it. I'm enjoying it. And the work that was in the recent exhibition that you saw in Santa Fe reflects that positive attitude I now have to shiny glass.
Well, we like both of your styles. So, Noel, if somebody wanted to find out more about your artwork or contact you to commission a piece, how would they go about that?
Well, Tansy Contemporary in Santa Fe are the primary gallery that I work with in the US. There's Tansy Contemporary in Santa Fe and also up in Denver. But I'm quite happy for people to have a look at my website. And there's a lot of additional information about my work, and my paintings and other things that I do are also on the website. So we can always redirect anyone that's, say from Santa Fe up the road to Tansy's, but we can also communicate directly and work it that way.
So what is your website address? Your website address?
NoelHart.com.
Oh, that's simple enough. That's simple enough. Listen, Noel, this has been an experience to get to know you a little bit, and I thank you for spending a little bit of your morning where you are an evening here where I am with me today. And this will come in the September issue of the Glass Alliance newsletter. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Good day, I should say.
Yeah. Thank you, Leslie.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.